Well, we're here for the hot guys.
Hot
more
guys,
than anything
yeah.
else.
Obviously, that's
And they're
the
not on the Phoenix Suns.
That's
So.
the podcast
Not
in general.
The Phoenix Suns. Guys, we say it. We used to say it. We haven't said it much this year.
Wolves back.
Wolves back.
Are they back though?
They're
They
back.
certainly
Are they?
can be.
Okay.
They're back.
I think
They're back.
They're back. They're back.
Can't even sit down anymore.
Nope, your butthole is absolutely scorched.
Fried.
That is dramatic.
You got to earn it.
that was very delayed.
We are back and better than ever, and fired up and ready to go for this one tonight. Episode 26 of the podcast. The boys are back. Monster Energy drink in hand, hams in hand, and some Eagle Rare in hand. We're ready to rock. We're going to bring a new segment to you guys tonight called Clear the Lane. We got some things to clear up, Matt and I. Trevor has nothing to bitch about, which is
Rare.
Shocking.
Shocking.
The Vikings aren't playing.
Does
right
it
now.
really shock you, though?
Yeah.
Does it really shock you that he has nothing to bitch about?
Yeah, I suppose. Maybe if it was volleyball related. See, it's too niche.
The
too niche.
The
I bet-
mics will get turned off, and then he'll start bitching.
Exactly.
No one's
Yep.
made me mad enough recently.
I didn't know what to say. I was going to say something.
Yeah, I was waiting for you.
We're just off to a fucking stellar start.
We are off to a hot start. Editing at its finest. All right. We're going to jump into a new segment called Clear the Lane, and then we are going to talk everything NBA playoffs. The season ended this last Sunday. Play-in games are happening now. One just ended. The last play-in game is tonight, and that's going to be Dallas versus Memphis. But before we get into all that stuff, let's start it off, and we're going to keep it NBA related, and then I am just going to go straight to right field and talk about my Clear the Lane. But I'm going to send this over to Matt with your Clear the Lane segment and the Phoenix Suns. Is that who you're gonna get on top of, or what?
That is who I'm upset about.
All right,
Yeah.
Let us hear it. 3 minutes. I'm not even gonna start a timer. I trust you.
I don't need 3 minutes.
You don't? Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I might take your
goes,
extra
yeah.
minutes then.
I don't need 3 minutes.
Okay.
I think
Taylor needs your extra minutes, my extra minutes.
I think
I'm gonna call
this is-
T-Mobile and buy some minutes on a car.
It's $20 a minute, man.
All right, I might need it.
No, I I'm not even a Phoenix Suns fan. That's part of it. But just the way that they have operated as an organization, I feel like is just downright pathetic. And it's so funny. It has definitely added fuel to my fire. Is the owner Matt Ishbia, who's a relatively new owner for the Suns, who has kind of orchestrated all of these terrible deals and also is responsible for firing 3 coaches in 3 years, which is a great thing to have on your record.
3
as a new
coaches in
owner.
3 years. Oh, I didn't know that.
He decided to call the season an embarrassment, but rest assured, guys, they are still going to win championships. This is the same guy that last year said 26 out of the 29 teams in the NBA, or out of the 30 teams in the NBA, would be calling them to swap rosters.
Yeah, right.
This is who Matt Ishbia is.
Anyone
By the
who
way,
wants to tank needs to call them
Matt
the swap
Ishbia's brother
rosters.
had a failed attempt at buying the Minnesota Twins recently. So maybe being a giant loser runs in their family. If you can't buy the Twins from the poll ads, then you suck.
That is true. They're not
That's
going
pretty
for
rough,
that.
man.
They're
That's
not
pretty
going for
rough.
that much money.
No, just thinking about the Suns. I was so excited for them and the Bucks when they were in that championship a few years ago. I was like, this is the parity the NBA needs. Devin Booker, I've always been a giant fan of. Kevin Durant has been awesome. They've been able to do this roster construction that I'm like sort of interested in, but incredibly confused by. And it started last year when we were in Phoenix and we went to a game, and I was like, boy, they are really relying on Grayson Allen a lot.
Yeah, buddy, Duke prodigy.
And this is when Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant are all on the floor with him. And, like, they're really, really going to him in these spots. And they ended up beating a Philly team that, of course, didn't have Joel Embiid playing, because why would he? And I just kind of took away from that. I was like, this is weird. maybe I'm not as high on them as I really used to be. They get swept by the Timberwolves last year in embarrassing fashion.
Mhm.
The Timberwolves owned
Crushed them.
It was lovely.
Absolutely destroyed them. Great. As a Timberwolves fan, great. But this team not even making the play-in, having the same record as the Portland Trailblazers, who are literally tanking, but they can't because they're beautiful.
That's your team, though. I was just going to say, you better say it.
Those
You've
are my
been- You've been
boys.
on those guys all year.
Shaden Sharp wouldn't allow it because he's the greatest of all time. Scoot Henderson comeback season.
Okay.
Scoot Henderson.
Couple
Just
stretches here.
their season hanging in the balance for the last 20 games of the season. They go 7-13. 7-13. And in
was
there,
that with all their three big guys playing?
well, kind of in and out. In and out. a little bit.
Because I feel like they never play together. Keep going. Sorry. This is your time.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
My bad.
In the middle of that 7-13, 20 game stretch, they had an 8-game losing streak. Again, they just have to become the 10th seed out of 15 teams, and they have a shot to make the playoffs. We literally just watched the Miami Heat, the 10th team in the East, make it into the playoffs. That's all you got to do. And they can't even do that. They can't even do that. We've got, they have 2 All-NBA players on their team. And they can't do this. They gave up 116 points per game. That's the 3rd worst defense in the entire NBA.
Damn.
Now, you say, well, the Suns, they're not going to be known for their defense. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker.
Which is weird. Actually, they're not bad. They're not supposed to be bad defenders.
Right, exactly. Get this. Actually, you know what I'll ask? Who led the team in rebounding this year, per game average?
Grayson Allen.
No.
I have no idea.
Mason Plumlee.
Oh, another Duke guy.
Mason Plumlee, folks. Does that make sense
Mason
to you?
Plumlee we can appreciate.
Those Duke
Grayson
guys
Allen
know how to
even
rebound.
Duke people should not like Grayson Allen.
Devin
Come on.
Booker played 75 games this year. He missed 7 games. That's it.
Wow.
And this team missed the playoffs.
And they're still that bad?
Yes.
Yep.
Remember when Booker would just go off for 1 billion points? Constantly? Okay, sorry, continue.
Kevin Durant averaged 26 points, 4 assists. Bradley Beal, who is making $50 million a year, the 4th most in the entire NBA, started only 38 of 53 games that he played in. And allegedly, Mike Budenholzer went to Bradley Beal and said, hey, I want you to play like Drew Holiday. That's not going to happen, bud. That's not who he is.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that dog in him.
Yeah, I should just go to any player and just be like, I want you to play like Drew Holiday because
Just
everyone wants
an
that.
absolutely disgraceful group.
It is.
They should. If I'm Devin Booker, I'm immediately going to them and saying, "Get me to a new team. I'm done with this." He's been on that team for almost 10 years. For almost a whole decade, he has been in the Suns, and they have had one true playoff run.
He was drafted by them, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant, I feel like we kind of need to look at your legacy. No offense, but this stretch after Golden State has been pretty bad.
Yeah.
And Bradley Beal, I knew what he was.
What has he been doing? Nothing?
What's he been doing?
Nothing.
Not starting.
Yeah, that is true.
Not starting.
Making that money, though.
It's absolutely laughable, and they're pretty much the Charlotte Hornets of the South. Yeah, I said it.
Bold.
So anyways, it's not a big thing to whine about, but very disappointing.
We're going to go to Tennessee football and the drama that's going on with good old Nico Amalivia. That's his name. Look how it's spelled. Amalivia. But it's actually like Amanyama.
I know this is supposed to be your time, but boo.
Tell me.
Boo.
Come on. Boo me all you want.
Boo.
How? Okay, I can't really talk straight to Nico because maybe he didn't do this. How can you be playing for one of the best teams in the SEC and listen to whoever and say, oh, yeah, I'm going to get $2 more million when you're already supposed to make $2.5 million? He was on contract. They actually signed a contract, which he wasn't upholding from what I researched. He never showed up to meet and greets. He never signed autographs. He didn't do any of his NIL stuff that Tennessee wanted him to do. So that makes sense. But I just love the fact that they said, nope, we don't need you. On to the next. On to the next. Get rid of him.
You got a guy asking for more money than almost. Is there any QB in the SEC making that money?
The Georgia guy was, but then he
Was
left.
he? Okay.
But then he left.
But Nico was what? Middle of the pack in
Oh.
SEC?
Yes, middle of the pack is a bold statement. He had 19 passing touchdowns last year. 11 of them were to UTEP, Chattanooga, and Vandy. Vandy's in the SEC. Vandy, he had 9 passing touchdowns in the SEC. 4 of them came to Vandy. He could not do jack shit against the SEC. And you're expecting Tennessee to sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna take you holding out," and he was potentially gonna hold out against the college playoff game. And you're sitting there like, "Dude, you're not that good. You can't make fast decisions. You play in a really good conference, and you still can't do much. How do you expect to be like, oh yeah, give me $2 more million, and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna pay you, and do the exact same thing that they did last year?
You're not even playing to the level of the $2 million you were making.
No, he isn't. He isn't. Oh man, it's absolutely ridiculous. So, and then I started investigating a little bit more, and more rumors came out that his dad was shopping him around early, and he didn't know about it.
And
if
agent,
that's the case, yes, and his agent. And if that's the case, that is what's messed up with sports today and what's going on with all this NIL stuff. And if that truly is the rumor mill is true, I feel bad for Nico. Because he could have sat at Tennessee. That's why I didn't want to talk straight to him. Like, if you have older individuals like your dad or your team or your agent, like, oh yeah, we can make more money off this guy. I'm going to get a bigger cut because you'll pay your agents 10%, whatever it is. Let's see if we can do and try to get $2 more million out of this. It's absolutely ridiculous. So now he goes from making 2.5 no matter what. That's $48,000 a week. Yeah, pocket change for that guy. Whatever.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, it sounds really, really good, right? In the SEC, you're playing at Neyland Stadium. You're playing for a lot of tradition. To going to UCLA. And before I get to that, the only people that were on his radar, not even his radar, because he had a non-contact. You remember when I talked about non-contact with the basketball stuff? He had a non-contact, so teams couldn't approach him. It was Tulane. Where the fuck is Tulane? Where's Tulane? Like, who wants to go? Is that New Orleans? I think it is, but whatever. And then it's UNC, and who the hell would want to go there unless you're playing basketball? I don't even like them, but why would you go to UNC? Bill Belichick, maybe, but they're not going to pay you that much money. And then the other one was Texas Tech. You're not the new Patrick Mahomes. Don't go there. You're not gonna fill in the shoes there. And it ended up being UCLA because he's actually from California. And his brother left UCLA to go somewhere else. So his brother and him are always in the transfer portal doing a bunch of stuff. You sit here and you're just like, okay, what is he going to get at UCLA? So all these teams passed because they weren't going to pay him $4 million. That was his thing. I need $4 million to play. He ends up going to UCLA, $1.75 million. Now, granted, lots of freaking money. Don't get me wrong. Like
less than he was making, though. Or would have been making.
A lot less that he was making. A lot less. And then you know what? Like, I don't know if these kids think about it or their agents. Stay in Tennessee. No state income tax. That's a lot more money. Go to California, you are going to be getting taxed up the wazoo like freaking crazy. So it's one of those things where I don't know if it was his team, if it was him, if it was his dad, but I'm so happy that a team, that Tennessee in general just said, screw you, move on, walk, we don't need to pay you, let's go to the next guy. The next guy, don't even know who he is. I watched the orange and white game because now I'm invested. You guys are going to be hearing about Tennessee football for a while, but I'm invested. This new guy, he was slanging it. He was like 6'4". He's a 5-star recruit, redshirt freshman.
What was his name again? Was that the one that you said you're getting a jersey?
Yeah, I'm getting a jersey. I will be getting a jersey. I don't even know his name.
Macklinger?
McLinger, something like that.
Close to that.
Man, okay, I got a couple more things to say, and then we can move on to this NBA talk because I can sit here and just ramble. I really hope it wasn't his team that caused all this.
Well, at some point, he still has to have the final say, right? Like, at some point, he said, like, hey, this is what I want.
Yes.
Because I can't imagine that his dad walked into the or whoever he's talking to and goes, yeah, my son's leaving, or you're paying him $4 million, and his son has zero say in it.
Well,
that
there
would
was
be
a
insane.
lot. There was more to it, and I can sit here and really dive into it. I'm just heated right now. My brain's going all over the place. But Oregon's coach is the one who told Harple, or the Tennessee coach, that he was snooping around. That he was snooping around trying to look for more money and look for different schools.
Sure.
So that's how it got back to Tennessee. And then they instantly just said, "All right, you're done." He was missing spring practices. He was sitting out. He wasn't showing up to things. It's like,
no matter what, like, sure, you could feel bad for him if his dad and his agent, who I think was also family or something,
yeah,
screwed him over on some of the money.
Yeah.
But based on everything you said, the man doesn't deserve any of the
No.
money. Like,
No,
he
no,
wasn't
no.
he wasn't fulfilling his contract in the first place.
yes, and the hype around him didn't hold up.
No, he was fairly
Below average. He
his
was a
team
below average.
lifted him up,
Yeah.
which in most cases you want your QB lifting your team up.
Yeah, he was a below average quarterback in the SEC. Here you go. He's going to be projected after taxes making $900K on the NIL after signing with UCLA because of taxes. Federal income tax $617,000. Still, an absurd amount of money, guys. Don't get me wrong. California state income tax $210,000. Federal payroll tax $50,000. California SID tax $1,000. Whatever. Total taxes $880,000. He originally wanted a $4 million contract, which is absolutely crazy. And then I'm going to end it here. Brandon Walker reached out or tweeted something, and he said, if Nico's family and him are actually leaving Tennessee because of the offense, because that's the new rumor, that they're just leaving because it didn't fit him offensive-wise, it's a good decision. Last year's offense was slow and not explosive at all. Of course, it was only that way because Tennessee had an inaccurate quarterback who couldn't read defenses, but whatever. So there'll be more to come from this, but that just got me hot and bothered when it came to, and not in a good way, hot and bothered when it came to what's going on. And that's, these kids think they're maybe entitled to stuff and they want more money. It's like, go work hard and go do that holdout BS in the NFL. Like, who cares? You're going to go make your money in the NFL. Oh, and another stat, and then I'm really going to be done. He wanted more money than Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's total right now, money-wise, is like $2.8 million for his career because he's still on those lower contracts. Yeah. Brock Purdy led their team to a Super Bowl and an NFC Championship game. This guy's sitting over here throwing ducks to Vanderbilt, and he wants $4 million? I'm done. Thanks for listening to my rant.
Wild world.
Thanks for listeing to my rant. But now,
let's
go back
to like see the list, though, of like, I don't know what the highest paid college QBs are at right now, so I'd be curious to see that.
It is the guy from Texas, Manning. What's his name? Archie? Archie Manning.
But I just mean like to just see like the top 10 or something.
Yeah,
like,
Archie Manning's at 6.1.
Sure, but this guy doesn't even compare. Like,
no,
he's not in the same realm.
And
at
that's
all.
what I mean. But
that's
that's what he's trying to chase.
Yeah. Right.
And I've said this about Archie Manning before. Like, he's doing it right. He only wants to play for Texas. He doesn't care about sitting behind those people. Now, is he worried about money? No, he's a Manning. But it's like, he's got to worry about it. He's gonna get where he wants to get, mostly based off name. But he is a talent. He is a very good quarterback, and we'll see that next year. But yeah, this NIL stuff is nuts. These kids just see what happens and go from there. So if it's his team, I feel bad for Nico. If it's him, hey, grow some nuts and freaking stay at a school and show your
I mean, at least
potential.
Archie probably makes the school a bunch of money too. Like,
yeah.
So
Man,
I don't know.
I'm done, guys. That was thanks for. I'm gonna take a big old swig of this, but thanks for letting me get on that soapbox. All right, I'm done with my soapbox. Let's jump into the NBA, because that's what we're all here for, and I know that's what you guys are all here for. And season just ended. Playoffs are starting now.
We've already watched a few games.
We've already watched a few games. Timberwolves Lakers play tomorrow night, which we will be watching. I don't know if we'll all watch together or what, but we'll figure it out. What do we got, Matt? What does the playoff picture look like? What are the numbers? What are the lines? Hot guys, not so hot teams. What do we got?
Well, we're here for the hot guys.
Hot
more
guys,
than anything
yeah.
else.
Obviously, that's
and they're not on the Phoenix Suns.
That's the
They're
podcast
not
in
on
general.
The Phoenix Suns. Well, Devin Booker's cute, but still. All right. So for people who aren't aware, And I don't have the line for this quite yet because literally the Heat-Hawks game just ended. So it's Cavs, their top seed, versus the Heat in the first round. Celtics versus Magic in a comical line. The Celtics are minus 8,000 if you're going to bet on them to win the series.
Minus 8,000?
Yes.
Ooh.
And the Magic are plus 2,200. So you can see where all the money is flowing in that.
Yep.
Knicks are minus 420. They're the 3 seed versus the Pistons, plus 350. Pistons feel good story, but I have a feeling that this one is going to be ending pretty soon for them. And then Pacers versus the Bucks. Pacers are the 4 seed. They're minus 164. I did not get this line before Dame was announced coming back. Apparently he had a very miraculous healing journey from his blood clot.
Yeah.
And is going to play,
I
but
heard that.
get into that a little bit later with the contenders, pretenders, and the dark horses, but I'm a little skeptical on Dame's ability. Any numbers stand out to you there? Any maybe possible upset? Bucks, Pistons, gonna go Magic, 2,200?
The Magic are not ready yet, but I still believe in them for
Magic are
a
not
future year.
Hey, we were on the Magic's train earlier this year with some
Beautiful.
bold
I
takes.
have more to say about them later too. So
The Magic, I will say this, defensively they got it figured out. They're one of the best defensive teams in the
their
NBA.
matchup right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Doom.
they're gonna get wasted. yeah, of course. Yeah.
If the Cavs would have just fallen apart earlier, which I think they're going to now, that's the one
Oh,
I would watch. There's
okay.
your upset alert. But
Heat Cavs.
Heat Cavs,
Yep.
but I don't think the Heat will pull it off. But I am just saying that I think the Cavs lose out early.
Okay. All right.
I did say that as well. I don't think the Cavs are going to make the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yep.
But
I
I actually can see them. The way the Heat were playing, and Trevor made a good point before we got on the mics, they have a very solid system and a very solid team, and they play together, and they know how to play together because they've been doing it for a while.
They're just missing the one crucial piece.
They're
guys,
missing the
you guys.
non-crazy dude
Yeah.
that we talked
Jimmy
about.
Butler's not walking through that door for them.
No, I know.
No,
Come on.
but
let's
if
be
he
realistic.
was-
I am not going to let the Cleveland Cavaliers, who I badmouthed to begin this year,
Yeah, you did.
get badmouthed.
Oh, you
That is a strong-ass team.
you
that is
badmouthed them.
well,
deep
no,
as
I'm
hell.
not saying the Heat are going to win. I'm just saying my point was that the Heat are. Well, we can get into this part later. This is another topic I was going to bring up. At a later
Okay.
time.
All right.
I also, before you move on, I wouldn't mind seeing the Pistons beat the Knicks because who likes New York?
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I would
Pistons-
love
Pistons
to
just
see
don't
that.
have
It's
it.
but
not going to
it's
happen,
not.
but that would be
Yeah.
fun.
The Pistons are too young. They are on a trend in the right direction, but
Yeah.
experience helps a lot.
So, West, we got Thunder versus whoever wins Grizzlies. Mavs don't have a line on that. Very fascinating. In the 2-7 matchup, we got Rockets, who are the 2 seed, versus the Warriors.
Upset alert.
The Warriors... no, it's not an upset because the Warriors are favored.
They're
Which
favored.
makes-
Yeah.
Well, depends how you view the upset.
The Warriors are favored.
If we're talking about a rank upset, 7 versus
So,
2,
The funny
yes.
thing
We're
is
talking
both ways
about-
are kind of an upset.
It's not by much, but the Rockets are plus 138 and the Warriors are minus 166. That's fascinating.
Right. Warriors in 6.
I think the Warriors should win it, and I don't know if they will, though. I think it's all up to them of... They need to not screw up, but like Draymond could easily just get ejected, and like
True.
this could all go down fast.
But if Jimmy and Steph keep doing what they're doing,
If playoff Jimmy shows up and
Jeepers.
Steph is
that
doing
was
Steph
unreal.
things,
What do we got? Lakers, Timberwolves.
We got Lakers,
That one
Timberwolves.
scares
Lakers
me.
are favored. They're the 3 seed, minus 186. Timberwolves plus 156. So, again, it's
That can-
kind of waffling a little
That
it's
bit.
can
the
kind of go
West.
either way.
West is
it-
wild.
It's the West. But also, for context, like, the difference in number of wins between, like, the 3 and the 7 seeds is, like, one and a half games.
It's pretty much just the
So,
Thunder
like-
that took off, and
Yeah, so for
Got their own.
context, like, it's very different than the East, where the East is like, here are 2 really good teams and here's the rest of the crap.
yeah,
The West is like actually battling it out.
right.
Quite a bit.
Before we move on, besides the Thunder playing whoever they get with the Grizzlies or Mavs, I actually can see the Warriors beating the Rockets. I can see all the lower seeds winning their
the
matchups.
Clippers are hot right now,
Yep.
The Clippers are favored.
You never know what.
but you
Ant-
don't know what
Edwards
Jokic
is
is
gonna
going to
do.
do either. So like,
Yeah, so the Nuggets are plus 100 and the Clippers are minus 118. So again, That will probably be a toss-up by game time that they actually get into it. But just for today, that's where they're at. Some betting odds for who's going to win the NBA championship. I didn't include everybody because that's stupid. But Thunder, plus 175. They've got the best odds on favorite, but not close or very close behind. Celtics, plus 185. Cavs, plus 500. Lakers, plus 1,500. Warriors, plus 2,200. Knicks, 3,100. Clippers, 32. Nuggets, 39. T-Wolves, 55. The 2-seed Rockets, 6,500. That's tasty, isn't it? That's a little tasty.
You jumping on that
That's
one?
a little tasty.
You jumping on that one?
That's tasty.
Talk about a turnaround from last year to this year.
Pacers 8,500, Bucks 12,000, and then Pistons are 42,000.
That's
Where
a
were the
tasty
Cavs
one.
in there? Did you say the Cavs?
Cavs are
Yeah,
plus 500.
Plus 500.
Oh.
Which is
Wow.
another tasty one to
Huh.
me. If you really want to, more realistic, if you want to get more realistic, I would say that Cavs number and that Lakers number, very good. I locked in Lakers at 2,200. So
I don't really like the
Okay.
Cavs one because I don't.
You did that early too, didn't you?
I did that the night Luka Doncic was traded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did that early.
I locked that in. So anybody, I mean, that seems like the way it should be, right? Like odds wise, like
Yeah, the
this is
odds
how it
look
should be.
right. It just laid out weird for seeding.
The one discrepancy I will complain about is that Nuggets Timberwolves drop off. Nuggets 3,900 and Timberwolves 5,500.
That's just history behind it.
I
though.
know, but
Also,
the history
If
is
you
the
think
Timberwolves
about it,
beat
though,
the crap
like-
out of the Nuggets.
Yeah.
but the Nuggets against the Clippers, I think there's a better chance the Nuggets can beat the Clippers, and I hate
Yeah.
saying this, than the Timberwolves beating the Lakers.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I completely
I would
agree
agree
with
with
you
that.
on that.
So that's
Completely
the tough
agree.
part. Is our starting position kind of sucks.
Well, let's get into some contenders, pretenders, and dark horses, guys.
My contenders right off the bat, Celtics, obviously. Clippers, man, if they play well and not Kyrie, Jeepers, Kawhi, Paul
actually be healthy for
George,
once in
yeah,
his
if they
life.
all can be healthy and I wouldn't want to face that team. You never know with the Nuggets. Joker could go off for 65, 12, and 12 every single game.
So you're saying all of those are contenders to you?
I think those guys are contenders. Yeah.
Really?
I like
I
Celtics,
actually
Clippers,
agree.
Nuggets.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what would you consider the Thunder then?
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
curious
still
about.
think they're too young. I think they need
So
like one
they're
more
a
year.
pretender.
They're a pretender. Yeah.
Wow.
I think
okay.
He thinks in the
I think they
playoffs
need one more
stop
year.
calling all those fouls,
Okay.
and so they just
Okay.
go down in flames.
But besides, and again, I haven't watched much of the Thunder this year, but besides SGA, like, yeah, they're winning games. Do they have other? They have
Yeah, they're
Chet.
pretty
Who
solid.
else do they have?
Chet, Hartenstein, Jalen Williams
Are they
has
all
taken a really
doing-
big
yeah,
jump.
they're
they
all
have-
doing pretty good.
Lou Dort should probably win Defensive Player of the Year,
Okay.
but he's not going to.
But it is
Kason
something we were
Wallace.
talking about earlier. Is like you cut out a million of those free throws that SGA shoots. What do you
Yeah.
get? I don't know.
Is
I
right?
still think they're just
They're still
too
good.
young. They're 1 year away.
Is this the OKC team from last year, or is it the OKC team that made that run with James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant? Like we can't believe it. This young squad made it all the way to the championship, and they ended up losing. Or is it the team from last year who was the 1 seed
See,
that ended up getting owned by Dallas?
I think it's last year's team.
I think it's
last year's team.
I think it's more the
Personally.
Kevin Durant group.
I think it might be too.
I mean, listen to this. They have a 12.9 scoring difference. They are plus almost
Yeah.
13 points offensively and defensively. SGA is averaging 20 drives per game. He's probably going to be the MVP. They led the West by so many games. They won 68 games. They almost won 70 games this year
Yeah, in a tough conference.
in the best conference.
Yeah.
So
I-
I do think that you're right that they're that team. They're the Durant, Harden, Westbrook team from however many years ago it was.
2012, 2011, yeah.
But that doesn't mean. I mean, this conference is so competitive
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that it necessarily they get to the championship. They could still be that team and fail a little early.
I think they still need solid playoff experience. Now, what if they are the Westbrook, Harden, and Durant team and they make it there and they fail? I think they just come back next year hungrier than hell. And
They're
I-
already
again,
in that spot.
I know they are, but I think they're 1 year from being away.
Or
They need more experience in pressure situations.
Is this a Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown Celtics-esque situation where, my God, I can't believe they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I can't believe they made it to the championship.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not really ready to hang with the big dog Warriors. Okay, we got that. But can they get over the hump? And then last year they just destroyed everybody, and we're like, okay, they got over the hump, and now no one is going to doubt the Celtics, right?
Those are really good questions. Yeah,
like maybe they are. So I've got OKC solidly as a contender.
Okay.
Cleveland again. I dogged them at the beginning of this year. I'm kind of happy to lose that bet, honestly.
I think they're the biggest pretender for me.
Really?
I do
okay.
too.
Right.
I think
they're up there with pretenders for me too.
Let me start with they totally earned where they're at. They were great throughout the season.
64-win team.
I just think when playoffs come around, a 7-game series to the same team over and over, it's not going to work for them.
Can I give you one little thing to help your argument as well?
Sure.
8-8 in their last 16 games.
Yeah, that's hard. That's rough.
That's not great.
Yeah.
That's not great. Look, they had 2 15-game winning streaks in their season. They were 34-7 at home. Now they're the top seed, so then they got home court advantage.
I think they should be
right?
very happy that they got the 1 seed. That helps a lot. But
Donovan Mitchell is going to be a top 5 MVP candidate this year. They have really probably the deepest team next to the Thunder, I would say, in the entire NBA. They've earned it. Kenny Atkinson should be coach of the year.
Great news is they do not meet the Celtics until
the Eastern Conference Finals.
Exactly.
I do like how the Cleveland plays, though. Like we've talked about this earlier. Like they move the ball well. They drive. They kick. They don't rely on the 3. They can shoot the 3, but it's basketball I'm used to, and I've been watching a lot more. And I know we kind of all differ on like the era the basketball picture is taking nowadays, but. I don't know. I think you're right, Matt. Like it's hella entertaining, and that's a whole nother podcast. But
it would be a ratings nightmare to have it be Thunder versus Cavaliers in the NBA Finals. But here's the one thing that I will say: whoever watches it is going to get probably the most entertaining games.
Yeah, it's going to be the true basketball fans get what they wanted.
Yeah.
Because those two teams are comprised of psychos that are so badly wanting this.
Yeah.
Like the Celtics again. Like, that's great. Lakers, great for the storyline. Celtics-Lakers finals, the ESPN would be dying over themselves.
They would love it.
But Thunder, Cavaliers would truly be like the antithesis of like, these are the best teams. This is the best product.
Yeah.
Sorry you have to go to Oklahoma City and Cleveland in the summer.
Celtics also have to kind of be like...
Right, so they're
another
contender that I have, obviously.
And then you get your ratings back as well.
Exactly.
So that's what's going to happen. It's what
I think Jason Tatum was the 3rd best player in the NBA this year.
Oh man.
I think he absolutely
I think he's been up there the last 2 years.
He stepped it up. I think all the Olympic stuff
maybe
that people were making fun of him for, really struggling in that, he completely rebounded. They did not have a historic season again this year.
No.
They still won 61 games.
Normal season.
Normal year.
Sure.
They held teams to 107 points per game. That is incredible. That's 3rd best in the NBA.
Yeah. Allows you to jack up 83s.
It does. Now, they've also had to navigate Jaylen Brown being up and down, Kristaps Porzingis up and down, Drew Holiday not playing that well, Derek
I think
White.
you sign him expecting that he's going to be.
But also, Al Horford playing a lot more. I don't think Al Horford was at the end of last year was like, dang, I'm gonna have to play. I'm gonna have to play 34 minutes a game next year.
Yeah,
no, I think he was like, yeah, I'm gonna stick around because maybe I can do like 20 minutes here, 25 minutes here, whatever.
Get another ring, probably.
Exactly, and get another ring. No, he's playing and he's playing well. Drew Holiday's got to step it up. Peyton Pritchard's probably gonna win 6th Man of the Year, but.
For them to be up and down with all those guys you named and still do what they did, that's why they're so dangerous when it comes to playoff time. But who was the one
that remained the same? Jason Tatum.
Tatum, yeah.
And he kept the through line.
Yeah.
This entire season, and he's got to get praise for that.
And he's been top 5.
I do think this year has been. I agree with you though that this year's been his turning point of like he took it from kind of the star to the superstar, kind of like we were talking about before we got on the mics.
Yeah.
Of like that, it's the next step.
Like he should be first team All Pro, and I think he will. I don't know. It should probably go pretty chalk for first team All Pro.
And you mentioned he's been top 3 for you this year in the NBA. I think he's been top 5 the last 4 years.
Yeah,
it's just now like this year it's been that one extra step. Top 5.
not
I know
top
your
five.
thought.
Also,
I know your
I'm
top
not a
five.
Jason
Top 5.
Tatum
Oh, yeah,
guy,
top
so,
5.
you know.
And one more little contender I'm going to squeak out there. Just a little squeaky fart.
Yeah, give it to me.
And I hate to say this because they're playing the Timberwolves,
I was
but the
wondering.
Lakers.
I was
man,
wondering if you're going to go this direction.
You're saying they're contenders? Is that what you're
they're a
saying?
contender. It is undeniable when LeBron and Luka are on the floor together, the offensive output
It's unreal.
that is created because
That's
of
the
them.
thing, though, is like, can you get X number of minutes from LeBron for... I don't think they're going to win in 4 all the way through this. So that he's going to have to play a lot of minutes the entire
He's
time.
going to be putting
get
miles
there.
on this.
Yeah.
This playoffs. LeBron.
And I'm
for
not
sure.
saying LeBron can't do that. He definitely can. It's just, will we see him get a little bit tired?
They also have it's a pretty bad matchup against Minnesota.
It is, yeah. But I still don't-
Minnesota is big and physical.
Yeah.
The Lakers are small.
But Edwards might be out in literally the first game.
Getting
Getting
teed up.
ejected from technicals.
So bad matchup wise, do you think Luka goes into that locker room and says, "Hey, this is what I did, pretty much last year to them in the playoffs"? Are they gonna try to do that same thing?
they
right?
can't.
Are they gonna switch?
They don't have a team for, like... I mean, they can try to do it with only Jackson Hayes.
Yes,
Jackson
yes,
Hayes,
yes.
But
yeah.
like, they don't have 3 guys that they can just lob to the whole
Yeah,
time.
they don't. They
lob
don't
to
have.
wise. No, they got shooters though.
They
But
have
that's
shooters.
all they did was the lobs was
but-
what killed us.
You're right. The lobs did kill us last year. Yes,
Now, is Rudy going to get pulled out again? Yeah, probably.
for sure.
But
he learned his lesson.
again, here's part of the difference. Is I think a combination of Randall and Naz Reid make up the rest of his minutes.
Okay.
Like I was saying before about Luka and LeBron, when those two are on the floor together with any other combination of 3 other players,
Got you.
it's remarkable. This is per 100 possessions. This is the plus that they're scoring. This is factoring in turnovers, assists, all that kind of stuff. 25.9, 18.3, 13.8, and 13.1. There is not a lineup that they have that is not ranking in the positive for them.
Dang.
When those two guys are on the floor together.
Yeah.
And this is what you get when you have incredible ball handlers that can play off of each other.
And
LeBron's
just extreme IQs.
exactly
Like,
with just the best IQs and shooting ability and everything like that. They have had guys step up: Jackson Hayes, Gabe Vincent, Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves. I think might be an all defensive guy
these
someday.
guys are thrown in positions where like you just have to be ready.
Be in your
spot.
spot.
Yeah, be where you're supposed to be.
Be in your
That's
spot,
it.
and you will get the ball there.
Yes.
Because even if they're not looking, they will find you if you're in your
Exactly.
spot. They're that smart on the basketball court.
The one knock that I will give them, again, size is bad.
Mhm.
Minnesota,
Yeah,
bad
They
matchup.
needed that trade that
Denver
they
is
failed
a
on.
very bad matchup. I don't know if you guys remember last year, but the Lakers got swept by Denver.
Yeah, they
Yep.
don't want to meet them.
Very, very bad. Here's another bad thing. Only a plus 1.2 point differential.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's
1
not
point
too hot
better.
there.
Their offense-defensive ratio is not great.
Mm.
Now, this is a completely different team than it was in the first half of the season, obviously, with Luka being on board. So
Right.
things have changed quite a bit. They don't have Anthony Davis on defense anymore. However, I put money on them for a reason.
That point differential though was the whole season, right? Not
Whole
just,
season.
Okay, yeah.
Whole season. I'm not going to bet against them. I'm not going. I don't know if they're going to be able to handle the Thunder. Like really, I don't think that's a good matchup for them either.
It's not a good matchup, but that one makes a little more sense where they could hang in there over the Nuggets. I feel like it's still that really bad one that like you still
Yeah.
see the same problems that they had previously.
Yeah, Jokic loves playing the Lakers. I mean, he loved going up against Anthony Davis, and now that you
Yeah.
don't have anyone to possibly step up in that role,
He's gonna torch them.
it would be pretty rough.
The thing
So-
that scares me when they play the Timberwolves, though, is like I don't know what to expect from the Timberwolves. With like it's been amazing for the last 15, 20 games with
Yep.
Randall. But are we getting what we got in those 20 games,
What
or are
Randall
we going
are
to
you
see
gonna
what
get?
we got like before? Where like when he initially came to our team and we had just a mess going on.
Well, let's hop to the dark horses, and we can finish with the
All right.
pretenders. Let's go to Minnesota. 49-33.
This is your dark horse, is what you're saying?
These are one of my dark horses
All
because
right.
I got the Clippers, I got Golden State,
Yep.
and I got Minnesota. But Golden State really can't be in that dark horse race anymore
when they're a favorite.
No.
when they're favorites.
But I mean, it's still a dark horse if you go by seeding, I guess.
If you go by seeding, not by who is actually the favorite.
And you go before that Jimmy Butler trade because they were not good.
Yes, they were ass.
That's
good.
mind blowing that everywhere he goes. I mean, he's got attitude issues, but holy
Man,
crap, can
but
he
he's
back up?
He's got an
talk?
attitude and he plays ball.
You know what?
If he
We're
wants
gonna go to the
play
Warriors
ball-
first.
Yeah, go to the Warriors
first.
If he wants to play ball, he can do whatever he wants,
He's
whenever he
just
wants
that
on the
annoying
court.
guy that backs up everything he
Yeah.
says.
Best behavior Jimmy Butler is the best player in the NBA. We're going to get to hot takes at some point. That's not one of my hot takes.
Behavior, Jimmy
But let me
Butler.
tell you, best behavior Jimmy Butler has led the Miami Heat to 2 championships.
Yes, that is true.
He could potentially be a top 3 player in the NBA only in playoff time.
Yes.
Like-
Yes. Yes. Since Jimmy Butler joined the team, over 31 games, they're 23-8. They're
That's
averaging
unreal.
121 points per game and only allowing 108. Steph, who has had hip problems, thumb problems, ankle problems, like I don't know if you watched the Grizzlies game, but he was nagging quite a bit because
Yeah,
those
he was
guys are
hurting.
pretty physical.
He was hurting.
Now, we might have some Dylan Brooks trying to eat him in the middle of the court and Draymond Green cracking the skulls of many Houston Rockets. But
Yep.
this is just an insane matchup to me because you have the history of Steph Curry and you have the good boyness of Jimmy Butler at the moment.
Yeah.
Now you're banking on that. That's where the money is flowing towards right
Hey,
now.
if you can keep him happy.
And you're going up against a Houston team that is very young, inexperienced. But if you saw their game a couple weeks ago, you will notice that Houston has their number down of what they have to do to disrupt them. And that is because Amen Thompson is an amazing basketball player. And he is going to be sprinting after Steph Curry that entire time.
But they haven't met playoff Jimmy yet.
But they haven't met playoff Jimmy yet.
They haven't
That's
met
true.
playoff.
That's true. That's true. It's just been a remarkable turnaround.
Yeah.
Kuminga didn't even play in the last game of the year for the Warriors.
Yeah, it's
Kuminga,
No, but
Didn't
he
even
stayed.
play.
But he stayed late and got up shots after the game because he didn't play.
good for him.
Yeah.
Man's getting cardio.
I saw that.
Good for him. No, it's a crazy team. I am going to stop short of saying that they're going to win their game against the Houston Rockets. I'm way too worried. A lot of what's informing my decision, if you guys want to read more about it, it's on The Ringer. Michael Pena wrote about what Houston has done to Golden State. I think defensively it's a bad matchup, and that's a lot of young guys. Now, again, the dark horse really is just Jimmy Butler.
yeah.
We getting
Sure.
Jimmy Butler scoring 35 points a game, locking down Jalen Green on the other end. Completely different story.
Right.
But Sengun,
It's possible.
I think, is really going to throw a wrench into their plans too.
It's possible.
Yeah.
So
I-
I'm kind of contradicting my dark horse here
You're like,
a little
my
bit.
dark horse is both teams here.
But they might even have to dust off Kevon Looney in that matchup. man. That's how bad it's going to be for the Warriors.
Don't tell Danielle that.
That's how bad it's going to be.
Let's.
I also got the Clippers. Love the Clippers, man.
Yep.
They have been on fire. Only allowing 108 points per game. This is over the whole entire season, defensively. They are a very bad matchup for teams like Houston and the Lakers.
I mean, if they get Kawhi back playing like everyone knows he can, that is dangerous.
like one of the best players in the NBA, like that
possibly
kind of Kawhi.
the best player in the
Whoa,
NBA
yeah, I
if
know.
you get that
It's-
guy back.
The dude
Healthy,
is-
healthy and happy Kawhi. I just saw a video of him at the Padres game. He had a giant ass smile. I was like, I can't believe he does that
Wow.
anymore.
Is he allowed to?
I didn't think so. Zubac, who used to be who was a throw-in for a Mike Muscala trade many
Yeah,
eons
he's
ago
been
when
doing great.
Magic Johnson was running the Lakers. Should be an All-Pro this year. Probably won't give it to him, but he probably should be
I
an
don't think he
All-Pro.
will, but yeah.
Norm Powell is the fucking man. Throw the explicit on there, but he's the fucking man.
Oh, what's going on?
He's incredible. And James Harden has actually been a good boy too. That's what this kind of comes down to. Who's actually going to step up now?
Who's going to be a
Yeah,
good boy?
who's
going to
lose their good boy?
If we have watched a lot of James Harden playoff games, you know that he likes to take a giant dump in his pants during big moments.
Yep.
So Are we going to get a good boy, James Harden, or are we going to get the same I'm going to poop my pants
But now he's not
situation?
getting asked for as much as he
He
used
sure
to. So
isn't.
that's the
He
big
sure
difference
isn't.
too.
Which I think frees players like that up.
Yeah,
'Cause
they
it's
don't
like,
have to be stressed
okay,
out
I can go
about,
out here
like,
if I'm
yeah.
hot, I can score 35.
Norm
if I'm
Powell will
not,
do
I
the
can go
work.
score 18.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And then Kawhi will just
Yeah.
carry the rest of us.
No, it really
I
has been.
like the Clippers.
I love
Yeah.
Ty Lue as a coach. I think he's super underrated. He's done an amazing job of turning that team around. I think that they're going to beat up the Nuggets, and I don't
Well, they're
think it's
just
going
a
to be close.
team you can cheer
Okay.
for too. Like I have no reason to hate them.
Amir
I have-
Coffey,
like, they
University
do-
of Minnesota.
They
Come
do
on.
great.
He's
I'd
on the
be
team.
totally happy.
Come
Like
on.
I don't mind it.
Speaking of Minnesota, your last dark horse, that is a game being played tomorrow night
Mhm.
here. They're in LA. Nope, they're not here because Minnesota's a
They're going to
lower
be
seed.
yes, they're going to
Yep.
be in LA. Guys, we say it. We used to say it. We haven't said it much this year.
Wolves back.
Wolves back.
Are they back though?
They're
They
back.
certainly
Are they?
can be.
Okay.
They're back.
I think
They're back.
They're back. They're back.
because of this matchup, they have to play their best basketball. But if they play their best basketball, they have very bright future. That's all I guess I
Bright
could
future, or bright future in these playoff series.
say. Hey, don't ask more questions.
Because I'm not going to argue with you on either one of them, but I'm like,
Let's
well,
put it
yeah, I
this
think they
way.
got a
If-
bright future.
Yeah, if they play their best, I think they win this series. I don't think it's likely to expect that 7 games in a row, so it's going to be a tough series where it goes back and forth probably if they are playing good.
My thing is, can Anthony Edwards do what he is capable of doing for more than
That's what I'm saying.
2 basketball
You're not gonna
games
get-
in a row? He
Yeah.
needs to do it for 5. He needs to
you
do
need
it for 6.
5 in a row of 40 points basically from Edwards almost.
I don't know about 40, but he has to play defense. He has to hustle. He has to rebound. He has to do what he can do.
Well, defense
really
I'm not
easily.
concerned. He's pretty good at doing that every day, but
But yes, he's going to need at least 28 a game.
You guys are thinking about Anthony Edwards, the god, Anthony Edwards.
Yep.
Like that. He's not the good boy that we're trying to figure out.
Who's the good? I need a good
Trying to
boy
get
for every
Randall?
team.
Julius
Who-
Randle
who's the
needs
good
to
boy?
be a good boy.
he does.
Now, Julius Randle, when he came back, Wolves won 12 games in a row with him.
Yep.
In the starting lineup,
I mean, that's the good basketball I'm talking about, but we've seen plenty of the bad.
which was the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
DiVincenzo has figured some stuff out. McDaniels, Nas. It's really been a night and day first half versus second half of the season for them, where they've really coalesced together and have really made a strong push. And Ant averaged 27 points per game this year.
I
Yeah,
still
he
think
played
Ant
really
sets
well.
the tone, though. It's
He
the same
does,
thing
he
as
does.
the last year's playoffs, where it's like if he is mentally not there in the very first quarter,
Oh yeah.
you can just shut off the TV. It's done.
But I
you
will
can,
say
you can tell too.
Yeah,
like you can
exactly.
definitely tell. Usually those games you can't tell. Like okay, someone's off, but yeah, they feed off of that guy.
Exactly.
one difference that I will point out from last year to this year. So Mike Conley is obviously not playing a whole lot this year.
Right.
He's really struggled. And we didn't really have that second ball handler last year in the playoffs because, again, Conley was kind of struggling in playoffs. He had a really good regular season last year, but kind of struggling.
Yep.
Julius Randle is filling that hole. He is a point forward. So we can get some dynamic offense where it's not relying on Ant Edwards to throw a pass from the other side of the court to try to get an open three and like do his very
Yeah.
sporadic stuff.
Yeah.
And he's more level-headed than Cat. So we're
Randall?
not going to have the random moments where it's like, Cat, you have 2 fouls in 5 minutes. What are you doing, man? Why'd you foul him at half court? You have to go sit down now.
Yeah.
Like, again, are we going to get hero ball Julius Randle? That's bad boy.
That's very bad.
That's bad boy.
Bad boy.
That's a guarantee we lose.
Bad
Good boy?
Bad boy.
Good boy Julius Randle is almost averaging a triple-double.
Yeah.
That's the good boy.
And I think that's what allows Anthony Edwards to get
Yeah.
that scoring that we need out of him.
So we'll see. We'll see.
What do we got for pretenders?
Pretenders, I'll go through these really fast because I think they're pretty self-explanatory. I don't see it with the Knicks.
Sir? I agree.
That team doesn't make sense. They've been such hodgepodge, and now they don't have a bench. I just think Cleveland and Boston own them, which they have owned them all year.
Yep. And Cat will get his, like you just said, 2 fouls in 5 minutes
Yeah.
and have to sit for half the game. And then
Thibodeau is going to have a vein that emerges from his forehead that we've never seen before.
the starters where they play 40 minutes a game and no one
You
else
mean
plays.
that we haven't
Yeah.
seen for a while.
I think, again, I think they're going to handle the Pistons just fine.
Yeah.
But when they go and play Cleveland, I don't think it's going to be
Hey,
close.
that plus 42,000 though is looking nice.
It does. Denver, They fired their coach with like a couple games left.
It's weird.
A week before the playoffs.
Their coach and their GM.
Yeah.
And now it's been this whole toxic locker room kind of talk. Russ is taking a lot of the blame, like whatever. I don't see it. I don't see it. They have a terrible matchup with the Clippers in the first round. I don't see it.
I get that, but I cannot count Jokic out as a pretender.
Jokic is going to win 2 of those games by himself, which is why I'm saying Clippers
I can't
in
put
6.
him as a contender, but I definitely wouldn't put him as a pretender.
And
They're just right in that middle ground of you never know what you're
That's why
getting.
one of my hot takes is he should be the MVP this year, but we can get to that later.
Okay. Memphis, Houston, Milwaukee. I kind of have them all grouped together.
Yeah.
Memphis, again, they fired their coach.
Yep.
9 games left in the season. I don't know what that's about, but it seems pretty bad, if you ask me.
It just doesn't make sense as a whole. Like,
Ja doesn't play that much. Desmond Bane is an overrated third guy. Triple
He's
J
been really hot lately.
is a fun first team All Pro guy, but I don't think he's going to make it this year. And Houston, I think they're a year away from being a year away.
you said it perfectly. Yep, I
Yeah.
would agree to all that.
They're a year away from being a year away.
I don't even.
That's
have
what I
anything.
think about
They'll
Detroit
figure
as
it
well.
out.
Detroit's
Yeah.
kind of in that
They'll
spot.
they'll figure it out someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Milwaukee, I'm not going to gamble with Dame's health.
No.
No.
Like Giannis has been an absolute monster. You could argue that he's the third best player over Tatum, but
Mhm.
there's so many Kyle Kuzma, Kevin Porter Jr. minutes that scare the absolute hell out of me with that team.
Yeah.
They don't got it, man.
No.
They just don't got it. So those are my teams. So before we get into the hot takes, though,
Yeah.
who's your championship matchup? Who do you got in the championship? And who's your winner?
If you take the common sense route, I have to go. I already said Celtics is just a freebie there. It's basically who's going to make it from the West, in my opinion. And I just can't bet against the Thunder this year. Like you said, 68 wins. They stand out so much more than the other teams. If it was even slightly closer, like, okay, maybe like you lose to a few of those teams a couple more times, you could see some matchups that they could struggle with. But I just haven't seen them struggle against anyone. They just crush everybody. I don't know. It's got to be Thunder Celtics for me.
So who do you have winning?
I'm going to pick the Celtics, though.
Okay.
I think the experience wins there.
That's what I like to hear.
Okay.
No, I don't like to hear it at all.
I'm putting the Celtics up there. It just makes sense. I'm a Celtics fan, but that just makes sense with all those other teams. Honestly, I'm going out on a limb here. I'm going Clippers. Clippers Celtics.
Wow.
Clippers
Okay.
Celtics. I think the Clippers are going to play good ball together. I think Kawhi is going to do some playoff Kawhi stuff.
He's coming back.
That's a very,
Revived.
very, very, very long shot because they're going to have to get through the Nuggets and then they're probably going to have to get through the Lakers.
He's going to
and
come
then
back,
whoever.
win a championship.
Well, shoot, they got to get through
traded.
they got to get through Thunder if they make it that
Yeah.
far.
Yep.
I'm going Celtics, Clippers. Celtics ultimately win it.
Okay. I got to go with my heart and not my head. My heart says Cavs
Oh,
Thunder.
no.
Cavs Thunder.
Well,
My
now
heart
we know the
says
Cavs
Cavs
are losing
Thunder.
in the first round. Now that Matt said
To the Heat. Oh, God.
To the Heat. I love it.
I think they've just been the 2 most dominant teams. I know Cleveland has kind of hit a skid recently, but I love that team, man. I love them.
Yeah, you're
I love
definitely
them.
going. You said with your heart here, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going with my heart.
Yeah.
they are fun.
But my heart
Fun
also
team
says
to
that this
watch.
Thunder team is for real, and I think this is the next juggernaut.
This is the year.
This is the team.
All right.
This is the Warriors breaking it open and being like, we are the team of the next decade.
All
If I
right.
had to go with my heart, it'd definitely be Timberwolves and Cavs then.
Timberwolves, Cavs would also be good. If I went with my head, it would be Boston, OKC, and I would go with the Celtics.
But you have Cavs winning the whole thing. Is that what you said? Or
No,
who won the
Thunder.
Okay, Thunder.
I think this Thunder team is for real. I think they are, again, that Warriors team that is ready to break
so
it
they
open.
fail in the finals. So your Cavs should be winning.
I kind of went with
No.
I kind of went with my heart on my pick too because the Clippers are a long shot, but I do like how they're playing. But I would
long of a shot though.
I would switch it up. I would go Celtics Warriors if I'm going with my heart. Man, I like Steph. I like what Steph's doing. I like the Warriors. Jimmy Butler is very fun to watch. Playoff Jimmy.
I love watching Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, it's just fun basketball.
Jimmy Butler being in the finals again, I feel like we got to have a real conversation about like what he means
Yeah,
to
he maybe.
the 2010s, 2020s basketball. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
like legitimately, like we got to have a conversation of like, is he a top 20 dude?
Yeah.
For sure.
Like if he leads another team to a finals,
I would. Say
I feel like you got to give it to him.
Because
You even have to give him some serious credit if he makes it to the Eastern Conference Finals this year. Like that'd be insane.
I feel like his legacy. Okay, him and Kawhi are going to have the weirdest legacies of like. How do we talk about these
we
two?
really
exactly?
don't care about basketball until it comes around.
Exactly.
To like just proving that we're good.
Kawhi's got 2
occasionally.
championships, so that's going to always put him above
And
Jimmy.
he did it at 2 teams.
And he did it with 2 different teams in 2 years. Yeah,
That's
Yes.
insane.
so that's what's going to elevate Kawhi over Jimmy. But
Yeah, but
like,
Jimmy has gone place to place and brought them like
yes,
clearly they
Yep.
went from someone who couldn't make it far to someone who's
yeah.
getting somewhere.
That could be a hot take for another pod. But I would agree. That's something to watch this playoff picture and see what happens. I'm excited for the playoffs to start. Starting tomorrow with that Lakers Timberwolves matchup, and I really don't know who else is playing. I'll watch the Celtics game. I'm gonna watch a couple Cavs games, so it's gonna be fun to watch.
Would the Clippers be playing tomorrow too then? No?
Mm-mm.
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right, we're moving right along, guys. Tonight we are going to dive into some NBA hot takes. We had some bold takes earlier this year when it came to teams and team records and playoff pictures.
Rough.
Yeah,
That's where
I went back.
shit.
I went back and listened to that pod because we had a bet on the line, and I ended up winning
Next
that bet
season, whatever Matt says, I'm going to the
against that.
go ahead and put in every bet against that.
By God, do it, folks. If I can give you any professional gambling advice, whatever I say, do the opposite.
Whatever team he says he's going to blow up, they're going for 60 wins.
Even my wife is
Legit.
dogging me about the Cleveland Cavaliers.
yeah.
I had to listen to that part in that podcast. I think it was like episode, 15 or something, 4 different times because you went off on Cleveland. They're going to be a dumpster fire. They're selling everyone. Donovan Mitchell's going to be gone not even halfway through the season. Wrong.
This is a good setup for
What is
the next horrible takes that I have.
Yeah,
So this is good.
It is going to be great.
Where, Colin Coward's got where Colin was wrong. Like every week he'll say, like, I got this, I said this wrong, or I did this, whatever, I had this prediction. We definitely might need to continue the where Matt was wrong.
Matt has
Oh,
to
we have
apologize to all the people that lost their money.
We have to.
I apologize to the city of Cleveland. Joakim Noah was wrong when he said nobody wants to go there.
All right, we're going to jump into some NBA hot takes here. We're going to do this Buffalo Wild Wings style.
We got a scale.
Okay.
We got a sliding scale. It's not the hottest of the hot right off the bat, guys.
Okay.
Because some people, and I'll say some people here, are pansies and can't handle the heat.
Hey, I had some of the hotter wings last
That's
time.
a mango habanero.
The mango hops.
Yeah.
I was sweating off of my skull.
You were
I was
glistening.
dying.
You were
Couldn't
glistening.
I was
handle it.
dying. So it got me thinking. Let's get some sweat going here, guys. But we got the mildest, we got the mediumest, and we got the hottest. We're going to start with the mildest because sometimes people like to go to Buffalo Wild Wings and just have a nice Parmesan garlic. You
Have
know what
something
I mean?
you're comfortable with.
That
Have
is
something you're
one of my
comfortable with.
favorite sauces, by the
A
way.
little barbecue. That's it.
Yeah.
Because some people are scared. But these takes, they should be believable, achievable, and a little lukewarm.
Okay.
You know? Like, yeah. You're talking to your buddy at a bar, and you're like, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Over in ice cold hams,
Over at Ice Cold Hams, not a sponsor.
but could be still.
And it's strange that they're not yet.
I know.
You
I
know,
know.
what's their deal?
I don't know. We got to talk to them, but keep going.
My first one here is about the beautiful Detroit Pistons. Now, they're not going to win their first round, but I believe if they get a second scorer, a true second scorer, they are going to be an East threat. It's pretty mild, right?
That's fair.
That is pretty mild.
That's a mild
Yeah.
take. That's not controversial.
No.
It's not scary.
That's something that realistically could happen,
It's
yes.
something that's realistic.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're on track. Even if they need that second scorer to go farther, like pretty far, but like they're still on track even without getting their second scorer to excel from what they've been doing. I
Yeah.
guess.
I think the progression for Cade Cunningham has been incredible. This is a dog of a team.
Mhm.
They've got the edge. They've got that Detroit Pistons edge that we're so
Yeah, they
fond
can
of.
all get ejected.
But if
We'll
you
have fun
added,
watching it.
Somebody that is not Malik Beasley, who literally made more threes than like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson have made in a season this year. I don't know if you guys know that or not. He's just chucked up a lot of shots this year.
Who was that?
Malik Beasley, I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's flamed out on many, many teams. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden,
the
here,
name sounds familiar.
he's doing quite well. They need somebody else. And I don't want it to be a Kevin Durant. I don't want it to be a Devin Booker. I don't want it to be a big name scorer, mind you, because I
I
think
like
that,
that.
I think it'll mess up the chemistry because
Yeah.
Cade is the man.
I would agree with that.
Let's have Cade be the man.
Yeah, build around him.
So how about a nice Anthony Simons from the Blazers or a CJ McCollum, a 2-guard
CJ, okay.
that shoots threes efficiently,
Mm-hmm.
could mess up some of the Jaden Ivey minutes, but that's okay. He literally snapped his leg in half. We're going to see how he does next year with that. But nobody crazy. No big swings. Just a nice, easy second scorer. What do you think?
I like that, and I think you said it perfectly. The second these big-time names come in, I don't know if the team panics or like, oh, we need to get this guy the ball to score because he's going to get pissed off. I agree with you. Someone like CJ or that first guy you said, Trevor, did you realize it was a Blazers guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a Blazers guy.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you, Matt. I like this take. I'm
That's
right
a nice.
there with
That's
you.
a nice Parmesan garlic in
Yeah.
your mouth, man.
Yeah.
And a previous Blazer.
And a preview.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. So, do you guys have a nice mild take?
Mild take.
Mine is outrageously mild. Well, I also already hinted at it, that I believe that the Celtics are really the only true team in the East, and that.
Oh, that's a honey barbecue a wing.
But there's literally also that the Cavs can lose a 7-game series to anyone in the East.
Now that's a hot take.
That's
man.
hot. That's hot.
Yeah,
That's a
it's a little bit hotter there.
All right. We're getting a little hot on that last
A
part.
mild
Now,
take.
The reason I left it in mild, though, was because I'm not saying they're going to. I'm just saying that they're a team that's not like the Celtics. I'm going to guarantee the Celtics win their first series.
Yeah.
The Cavs, I'm not promising that they do. Like, I think they could have some struggles. I don't think they will lose it.
Wow. Okay. See, we're mixing sauces right now, and I'm a
Yeah.
little uncomfortable.
It's the sauce.
So bring me back to
Sauce.
the Celtics here. Is this a team that you think is going to come out of the East in the next 3 years? Like, who's going to step up to them?
So, okay. Well, I'm mostly referring to this year,
Okay.
and only this year, I guess. But
Do you think it's realistic that the Celtics run through the East and only lose 1 game, 2 games,
yes,
1 game?
I would say 2
I would
because
say
they
2.
like to just kill themselves.
Like
somehow.
they drop 2 to Cleveland,
But
or
it's
something.
not because they should have lost the games. It's because they just didn't show up.
They usually
Okay.
lose those 2
Yeah.
games, yeah, like you said.
Even with Jaylen Brown's health, a little.
Yeah, I
Little
think until
waffly.
they hit
Okay.
the finals, it's a joke to them.
Okay, all right. You hold on to that Cleveland Cavaliers thing. Man.
I
you hold
hope-
on to that.
I hope so much that I'm wrong.
It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. It
Well,
makes the
maybe my
sauces like
disrespect will light a fire and
All right.
they can win
All
because
right.
I would love to see the Cavs do good.
that. That's borderline Caribbean jerk.
That's
You're talking
true.
right there.
I mixed some sauces. I'm
okay.
sorry,
You mixing some sauces, but, that's
but I
all
had to say them both together. Otherwise, because the Celtics one is very mild, and
very
the Cavs one gets into a little bit heated.
That's almost a naked tendy.
But they belong together, kind of.
That's a naked tendy with some ketchup.
Yeah.
All right, Taylor,
Mild take.
got a mild take.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna look at the Lakers here. My.
You can't do another Bronny James thing, dude.
It's not. It's not a
That would
Bronny
be
James
way
thing.
too hot.
That
You
would
can't
be
go
hot.
mild
That would
with
be hot. That would be super.
Bronny
hot.
James is gonna lead the league in assist to turnover ratio next year. That's hot, man. I can't feel my face anymore.
That's
That is
blazing.
no, that's too hot for a human to handle.
That's
like
that's
that-
actually from a volcano.
Hey,
yeah, that was
hand up,
poison that you gave us.
hand up accountability. I did say that, and I had to close my ears when I heard that. It was bad. My mild take. I think that Austin Reeves is going to be that main guy that's going to push them over the edge this playoff series.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Because
didn't even pick them in the championship.
I didn't, but I think he's going to be the guy because the Timberwolves are going to hone in on Luka because they have those Luka demons, like Matt said. And then LeBron's LeBron. He's still doing stuff at 40 years old that I can't even imagine doing at 40 years old. Shoot, I can't even imagine doing it like 20 years old. But I think Austin Reeves is going to be that guy to have some really big games, 25-plus points, and help them get past the Timberwolves.
I agree, and I think that definitely belongs in
Pretty mild.
Mild.
That's
Because he has been doing that he's been pretty
yeah,
consistent at doing that
that's
right
nice.
now.
He has been pretty
That's
consistent. Yeah, so
That's the mild sauce.
Yeah.
I would say.
Okay.
That's not naked tendy with some ketchup.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not a naked
Mild
tendy
isn't
kind of
even
guy.
too high for that one, and that's almost still in that garlic range there.
You're almost a glass of cold milk with that take of yours. I got one more mild take,
I love it.
and this is more projecting to the future. The baby wizards next year are going to be fun, and it's going to be uncomplicated, and it's going to be okay.
The baby wizards.
The baby wizards. That's what I'm calling them.
I don't think they're going to be very fun.
Did you watch Bub Carrington's game winner? I bet you didn't.
No, I didn't.
No.
Filled me with hope. This is a team that should be tanking. This is a team that should be the butthole of the entire NBA, and they go and win a game winner over the Miami Heat.
I mean,
Last
they're
game.
still debatably the butthole of the NBA.
They are more taint than butthole. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Sure.
But this is a fun young team. They got Bub Carrington, Bilal Koulibaly, Kaishan George, who was a throw-in that Bucks trade that happened with Kuzma coming back, and Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr looks like a solid guy after getting a bunch of crap. Top 3 draft pick. Looks great. They got these cap space filler guys, which is Brogdon, Middleton, Poole, Marcus Smart. All 4 of them will probably not be on the team next year, or one of them will be on the team next year. If they get Cooper Flag, now this is where it can bump up to medium for me. They'll be a play-in team next year.
I think that bumps a little higher than medium for me.
That's
a hot.
And
That's
I-
that's not a hot take.
No, that's not a hot take.
That's not a hot
is-
take.
It's not hot,
What's
but
in
it's-
between medium and hot buffalo sauce?
That's
Maybe
Asian
you're
zing.
at least in the Caribbean jerk,
Asian
if not
zing.
higher.
That's an
Yeah.
Asian
That's an
zingish.
Asian
That's an
zing
Asian
take.
zingish. But I just think they're actually doing a good job of replicating what like some of these bad teams have done recently,
See, that's
where
where
you take on bad contracts, but you get a bunch of draft picks.
Yeah, I was gonna take on that. I think you're on the right track, but next year's the wrong year.
Right. So, but I'm just saying they're going to be fun.
2-3 years.
They're
going
going to be uncomplicated, and I think they're going to be an early contender for League Pass Team of the Year. Where you're just like, I'm just going to check in on the Wizards.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
I think you're too early, but you're on the right point.
When I said Houston before is a year away from being a year away, the Wizards are
Yes.
a year away from being a year away
I
from
would
being a
agree
year
with
away.
that.
Okay.
Yeah. But they're going to be fun.
Yeah.
They're going to be fun.
Okay.
And it's actually going to be something exciting there. Exciting that you haven't seen since John Wall.
Maybe
and
Cooper Flag
Bradley
will
Beal.
have his own dance like John Wall did.
Ooh.
Do the flag. Do the flag. No,
I don't know how he's gonna
does
do
not
it, but-
does not roll off. Does not roll off the tongue. But that's my other mild.
I like that. Okay. What do we got next?
We got the medium.
Ooh.
Now this is a little scary for some people.
Yep.
People don't like to go medium.
Nope.
My grandpa would be scared. I think of this as more of the run-of-the-mill buffalo, like a Frank's Red Hot Sauce. You know what I mean?
A good medium hot sauce.
A
yeah.
Tabasco. You know, like
yeah.
I just like to throw that stuff on my eggs. It's nothing scary.
What kind of Tabasco? Are you talking the green stuff? Are you traditional? Are you talking Chipotle?
Tabasco rankings ready?
Yes.
Chipotle number 1, number 2
In.
jalapeno,
3
3 regular.
We align so much
Thank
right
you for
there.
asking me that question.
We align right there.
Tabasco, be a sponsor. I swear to God, I will do you no wrong. I love you, Tabasco.
It's so good.
You're much
To be
better than that
drinking that
Louisiana
from
hot sauce.
Just straight.
I will drink an entire bottle of Tabasco on this channel if they sponsor us.
You heard it here,
Yeah,
folks.
we
Someone,
gotta try
someone
that.
knows how to hook us up with
Clip
Tabasco
that.
sauce.
Call Mr. Tobacco himself. I said tobacco. Call Mr. Tabasco himself. Give me that deal.
And
Now-
you just ruined our chances.
Now, I want to be clear that a medium take is not the Luka trade. It is not a Donovan Mitchell to Cleveland trade. It is not a Rudy Gobert to Minnesota trade. Those are a little hotter.
I'll tell you what it is.
Those are a little spicier. What, you tell me
I
what
do
it is.
have a
then.
trade in mind, though.
You tell me what
that
it
I am
is.
doubling down on our magic take from earlier.
Ooh.
They are going to be a number 2 in 2 years.
In 2 years.
2 years.
That's spicy. Okay. All right. That's a little spicy.
That is a little
All right.
spicy.
I might need some ranch for that one.
Yep.
Okay. Explain yourself.
I just think they're on the right track, and they just need more experience. Is where it's what they're heading to. They need to not
Right.
have injuries. They need
Paulo was out for a
maybe-
lot of the year this year.
Yep.
And Franz
Yep.
and Jalen Suggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had a rough run this season, but I still believe they are a very solid team.
Are you concerned about their inability to score the basketball?
Just a little bit.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's going to fall under the experience category. I guess.
Gotcha. Okay.
There
All
might
right.
need to be a few little tweaks, but I think they're in a spot where like
They're gonna
you
figure
can
it.
tweak and fill things in to get where you need to be.
They're going to figure it out in 2 years.
Yes.
Anthony Black has looked really good for them this year. I was very happy to see that. But yeah, they're just kind of a mess.
Yeah. But
They won their division and they were 41-41 this year.
that's where I'm saying
Jeez.
next year is we're figuring it out year. 2 years is where we've gotten this. We're
That's
ready.
when we go. That's when we go. Magic fans, rise up.
Rise up. I'm going to take this to a trade that I think will
Okay.
it'll heat things up, but I don't think it's hot. I think Jalen Brunson is going to be on the move next year, just with everything that they got going on.
The New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
No.
How hot are we going
No,
here?
that's hot. That's hot.
I was gonna say,
It's
hey,
like-
baby girl, Jalen Brunson's dad is a coach for the Knicks.
Who's playing?
I think
who's
my-
playing on the
I got
Nuggets?
steam coming
who's,
out
the,
my
who's,
ears.
who's the guard on the Nuggets?
Jamal Murray.
Murray.
Okay.
Murray's
Okay.
going to be
That's
on the
way
All right.
down
move.
from
Murray's going to be
Okay.
on the move.
I don't-
Sorry, guys. I got your. You were sweating. You
I
were
was sweating. I was sweating.
you were glistening again.
Popped a molly. I'm sweating.
Woo! That's a good song. Jamal Murray is going to be on the move.
Okay.
I think he's going to be moving over to the Heat, and he's going to be their guy to be that next.
That would fit.
That
actually
next
kinda nice.
not mediocre. He's way better than mediocre, but solid scorer to push them over that hump and fit in that system well. I think he can do that.
So Heat give up.
Nothing.
I was gonna say, is this like they're not gonna do Tyler Hero
What
in
is
that
his
deal?
That's-
contract looking like though? Is he?
It's
on
big.
his-
And
No,
that's-
but like what year is like how many years is
He's
he? have?
still got like 3 years.
Yeah, he's got a
Oh.
lot. And
He
that's
just
where
signed
I
that bad boy.
struggle, and that's where you're better at this than I am. I struggle with the whole like trade stuff. I just like, oh yeah, he'd be a good fit there, but I never
You'd have
really
to
go
do,
to that
like-
next level. Like, oh, what are they going to give up? So that's a great question.
Well, he didn't do that great this season, did he? Because you
Doesn't
could
mean
like,
he's not
throw
getting
in-
paid $45 million a year.
Well, no, right, but like I don't know
He
what
was
is
getting
Rozier getting paid, and like if you'd have to throw in another person, obviously. but,
Rozier
like,
is toxic. He doesn't even get played anymore. See the problem. See that's part of the problem is the Nuggets in return would have to get a combination of like Wiggins, Rozier, maybe Jovic or something like that,
Yeah.
and that's
Picks,
just not.
they can get picks though.
It's just the problem. Then
unless
you
they got rid of all those
too
when they
much.
were dealing Jimmy.
No, they got some stuff in. They got some
Yeah.
stuff
But
back.
I don't know if they
So-
want to get rid of too many.
If
picks,
if the Nuggets can get Tyler Hero out of that deal, they're gonna have to kick in with Jamal Murray to get him.
Yeah,
Then I think that hits the medium scale of
yeah.
like that's tasty for the Nuggets in an
I-
incredible way.
Yeah, depending what they would get out of it, it wouldn't be. For anyone listening, I am a Miami Heat fan for what I have zero reasons to be, but I have been since I love Dwayne Wade. If the Nuggets threw in something really interesting with that, and I don't know what it is at this moment, but I won't be opposed to the Tyler Hero trade. Talks of it.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is
How did he do this year? He just
Really
had, he
well.
just had
He did very
30
well.
in
he
the
had a
playing game.
really really good.
He
year.
did because
Yes.
last year he was hurt. It was his wrist. It
Yeah.
was his arm.
Yeah, he had a couple injuries.
Yeah.
he had a really good year. Bam had a down year actually,
Uh-huh.
But he's still just defensively
but you can't
great.
you can't do anything.
You have to
with Bam.
pretty much build around him.
Yeah,
That's why Jamal Murray might actually fit really well.
Before I thought of the Heat, I just thought I think Jamal Murray would fit on a almost their team.
Yeah, the
Right.
problem is that they have to get rid of the almost there to get him is the hard part. So like, how do you build?
Yeah,
back
but
up
some of
after you get him?
these almost their teams like they got to have picks sitting around or they got I don't know.
Well,
And you
yeah.
guys are better at that than I
It'd
am.
be
So
easier
like I'm
if
just
he was
like
close to free agency. Then you just pick him up.
yeah,
then.
that is true.
honestly, what's more realistic and would kind of run into my Detroit take is Detroit feels like they got to make a move and they pay a premium on Jamal Murray and
Okay.
bring him in or something.
But
like
is that a good idea? Or
No,
is
it's
that
a
just-
terrible
yeah,
idea.
I don't
No,
think
that's a really bad
idea.
Not a good idea.
That's drinking a full bottle of Tabasco.
Mm.
Kind of bad idea.
Which one would you drink? Chipotle, jalapeno?
Jalapeno.
Yeah. Oh, it's so
No doubt
good.
about it. No doubt about it.
My goodness.
You put that shit on your Chipotle. Your
That's where I
burrito.
found it.
God,
The
damn
bunch
it.
of bottles that just sit out there,
They're-
and then I'm like,
just
"What is
take 'em.
this?" And
Just take
I
'em.
took one,
I took them.
and I half a bottle.
Oh it's great.
Oh my God.
God, it's so good. Anyways,
Next.
I got a Mavericks one for you guys.
I do too.
This is a little Asian
But mine's a
zingy.
little lighter.
It's a little Asian zingy. Kyrie is going to leave in free agency.
Okay.
Anthony Davis is going to force a trade out of Dallas, and the Mavs will go into full-blown
All right,
tank
I'm
mode.
betting on Dallas next year.
Now, mind you, Kyrie might not play much next year. I say he's going to leave in free agency because he is the end of his deal.
Mm-hmm.
He has a player option, so he can opt in, or he can forego it and go into free agency. So, but he tore his Achilles pretty late in the year. Again, if he comes back by
It was his knee, wasn't it?
Oh, he tore his ACL. You're right.
Yeah.
If Kyrie is ready to go by next February, I'd be shocked. So,
I would
don't know.
too.
The
Does he-
athletes these days are coming back crazy fast.
But
Right.
does he have the motivation at his age and his kind of
Maybe.
attitude to?
he's like restarted from
You're
actually
right.
being interested in
I
basketball
think
again.
he does if he joins the Lakers.
You're right. He has changed his attitude.
Mhm.
That's steamy. That's steamy.
I have a steamier take than
We're
that.
we're getting a little hot. We're getting little hot here. I just think Kyrie is going to look at this and be like, I don't have much time left. I can't do this.
Yeah, I would agree.
And why don't you go to the two guys that you love the most in your playing career?
Yeah.
Luka and LeBron.
Man, imagine that.
Ball handling skills.
My goodness.
Like crazy. So
what
I
does
think
LeBron do? Just sit around and be like, "Oh yeah, you go here, you go
That's
here."
what he probably
Exactly.
wants to do now.
My goodness.
So I think Kyrie heads out. I think Anthony Davis looks around at his team and is like, I'm not playing with Najee Marshall as my two guard.
He's going to Miami.
Not doing that. Now, he would be fascinating on Miami.
Wouldn't it?
Him and Bam together,
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
that'd be unstoppable. Again, not going to happen. But
It would. Be
I think there's something there. Honestly, I think Anthony Davis on your beautiful Orlando Magic, total game changer.
that'd be awesome as well.
Like, absolutely incredible. You're probably going to have to give up, like, Franz or something like
Yeah.
that in that deal, but whatever. And then I think the Mavs just go, well, we got nobody else here, so we might as well fully tank, and we'll keep Nico Harrison around so we can blame him for all of the troubles that he's caused us, and let's go from there.
Nobody knows.
And now this
the
will lead
trouble
to a
I've
hot
seen.
take.
Wait,
But-
I feel like you can't go on until because mine is literally the opposite of what yours is. And this
Okay,
isn't
you
hot.
hit me.
This isn't hot.
This is hot.
Is hot.
we
Oh,
just
we're
jumped a
start-
step higher than what Matt just said,
Well, I got one more medium.
but in the exact same section.
I got one more medium.
Oh man.
Hey,
Well,
I need
we're
you to
coming
hold it.
back
Hey,
to the Mavs.
let that sit on your tongue and burn a little bit longer.
It's burning too much. I'm steaming over here.
But one little fun thing that's been floated around. So the new ownership group for the Mavericks, they made their money off of casinos in Las Vegas.
Nice.
Maybe the Mavericks are the Las Vegas team in a few years.
Oh.
Now
Unless
that gets
they
a little
expand,
hot.
though,
That,
like-
right.
then it kind of breaks that.
They're not going to move a Dallas team.
yeah.
That's a big market. They're not going to move. But anyways, last one. This is again. I feel like this is a medium one. Zion Williams, welcome to the Charlotte Hornets.
I mean, being a specific team might make it a little bit hotter, but
The
like,
face you are making is like you sucked down that jalapeno Tabasco.
Yeah, I just did.
Yeah.
I'm listening to that.
I think you're wrong, but I think Zion has to go, and they
Why
just
the
won't do it.
Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah,
He's-
that's more the.
He's got to go home, dude. It's time to go back to North Carolina. That's
Okay.
where you're safe.
Okay.
New
Are you
Orleans
just
is
saying
not
they're the
working
only
out.
one who wants him, or like who?
Who
how-
does want Zion Williamson?
That's what I'm saying. Is
Do
it
you?
the only person who
I
wants
don't.
him? No, I don't.
I don't.
I think Charlotte has got to be like, we got to do something.
Well-
we have been dog crap. LaMelo Ball hates us. What are we going to do?
Ego.
Well, let's get him a shiny new toy.
Watch, you'll bring him in, and he'll actually have the healthiest years for like 5
Great.
years in a row.
And if you're Charlotte,
Maybe
you're
s-
like, well, it's the first attractive team we've had since Kemba Walker went crazy. Like, honest to God, like you got to do something. The big three of
Oh, that's
LaMelo Ball,
good.
Brandon Miller, and Zion. Does that not wiggle your waggle a little bit?
Oh, it's waggling
That's
my wiggle.
that is a play-in team that is going to get swept by the Celtics in the first round, baby. Zion Williamson, time to get out of the Big Easy, my
I'm
friend.
coming home.
New Orleans is in shambles. They're an absolute disgrace of an organization. It's time to come home, baby.
Love it.
See, that's a little spicy.
That's spicy.
That was
It's a
an
little
entertaining
spicy.
one. I like that one.
Is that leading up to
I do
what
think
we
he
got
needs to
next?
go, but I don't know about Charlotte.
All right, all right, all right.
I mean, it might happen. I don't know who wants him. I agree with you. It's kind of a like nobody wants someone. Well, I should say that usually nobody wants anyone who's injured all year long, but I mean, Dallas did take Anthony Davis. So
Zion and Trae Young have this thing about them where it's like, God, it should be going a lot better than it is, man.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you guys? This should be a lot different than it actually is. So,
Trae Young.
we're all done with our mild and our medium.
or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So
go.
now-
I'm gonna go get a glass of milk for these next takes that we got coming in.
Oh, it's going to get hot. Get the blue cheese, the celery, the
Ooh,
carrots.
blue cheese or ranch?
Blue cheese.
Are you going celery and carrots? Do you even eat those?
Yes, I eat them.
Okay, good man. Good man. I don't. So
What kind of a question is that?
it's a good question because I don't eat them.
It's a quelcher.
Yeah.
It's something that's good for you.
Do you like celery?
Yeah, I like celery. It's
All
like
right.
95% water.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
it's
Sorry.
Then
Keep going.
5% nastiness.
I'm trying to talk about the hottest.
And we're talking about celery.
This sauce.
Celery.
We're talking about celery.
This sauce turns your tongue to rubber. Destroys your palate for days. Should be laughed at for ordering them. This is no holds barred. Ridiculous. Think Taylor talking about Bronny James.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Well, then I have to go back and think a little harder.
Think that.
That was so ridiculous.
Now,
I should never be able to let on this podcast again.
Trevor, you're chomping at the bit over
Yeah, I was steaming a little bit when you had your Mavericks take.
there. Have you got a blazing for us?
I have
Or a
blazing
wild?
for you, especially.
Okay, for me. Okay.
Instead of the Mavs breaking up, Kyrie's going to come back, and they're going to have a better record next year than the Lakers do.
That's a hot take.
Bold.
That's a hot take. Okay.
I see. Okay, this all relies on a healthy Mavericks team. So, obviously,
Bad start.
you need
Go ahead.
Irving back in time to at least make a run at some point. And Anthony Davis needs to miraculously not fall apart. But,
All right. Historically,
yeah, so
against you.
not looking good here.
Yep.
But if those two things happen, I think this trade actually is really good for Dallas. Because I think Anthony Davis is one of those guys that can do like everything you need to make a far run. And you're giving me a look here.
His
Let it all
his
out.
mouth is burning.
Let it all out.
Guys, we forgot to tell you, Nico Harrison is actually subbing in for Trevor tonight to tell you about how the trade was actually won by the Dallas Mavericks.
No, I'm not saying they won it. I still think the Lakers won it. I just think that next year, if everyone's healthy, I think that Dallas has the better deal for the 1 or 2 years before
That's hot.
That's a hot take.
before age takes
That's
the
a hot
play.
take. That's a hot take.
That's hot.
Do you see them winning a playoff series next year?
If this happens, yes, I see them going really far.
Western Conference.
At least making it.
That's hot, man.
Yeah.
That is, you set a bowl of chili down next
Now-
to my hot wings.
Wow.
To sign off on like why that I'm backing myself up.
This
here.
is irrational.
yeah.
Lean
It's so
into
irrational. I don't even have my words here.
it. Lean into it, man.
But injuries ruin all of it.
Well, of course.
So, if no injuries,
Injury
this
settings
is
are
the hot
turned
take.
off.
Yeah.
Injury said, I love
Yeah.
that.
Turned
no
off.
one can get hurt in your season.
This team is Western Conference bound.
Yes.
Wow. That is hot, man.
That is really hot.
That is hot.
Now they probably in the off season it'd be nice if they do a few tweaks to get like I guess I don't know exactly what they need because we haven't seen enough times where they're all healthy, so it's hard to tell. But
I like it. Can I do one and then
Do
you
you want to
one?
go?
Yes.
You want to go?
I got two.
I'll let mine simmer.
I got two.
Yep.
I actually have three. I'm not doing the third one.
'Kay.
Because I'm against it. Amin Thompson will win MVP someday.
pick the day. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
There's a demon in Texas.
Yeah, that's a hot take.
His
What?
nickname is the Evil Twin. His brother is Osur Thompson, who plays for the Detroit Pistons. Amen Thompson will win MVP someday. This has been a breakout year for him. He should be the leader for Defensive Player of the Year, but only started once somebody got hurt in the starting lineup this year. Think Kawhi Leonard mixed with Russell Westbrook. That is Amen Thompson.
So the Energizer Bunny
Yes.
with the best player in the world.
Psychopath
But you're saying
defense.
prime Kawhi. here.
Psychopath defense.
You're saying he's going to
That
win
is what
MVP
he
or
is. He is
Defensive
going to
Player
win.
of the Year?
No, he's going to win. Well, he's definitely
Well,
going
at
to
that
win Defensive
point,
Player
if you
of the Year.
combine those people, he's going to win every award there is.
He's going to win
imaginable.
MVP. He's going to win MVP. This is a man who has a recorded speed this year of 23 miles per hour on the court.
Ooh, that's fast. That's really fast.
Amen Thompson had 23 miles per hour. Now, he's averaging 14 points, 8 rebounds, and almost 4 assists this year. He's a poor three-point shooter, 27%. Only averages 4 free throw attempts per game on 68% shooting.
I'm going to tell you that one of those two things has to be fixed.
If he gets a jumper,
one of the
it's
two
over.
things. What do you mean? All of them have to be fixed.
Well,
It's-
you
it's
can
over.
survive without an amazing three.
Yes,
if
you're
you
right, you
can
can.
get fouls and stuff.
Here's
but
what he needs to do. I have it for him. He needs to attend the Dwayne Wade and SGA finishing school for driving the basketball and become this generation's Scottie Pippen. If he ever figures out a shot, he will be the MVP.
That's a really
Thank
weird
you.
relation to make. You're going to make him the Scottie Pippen,
Yes.
but gets MVP.
Yeah,
Gets
I'm
MVP.
trying to process that one too.
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying Scottie Pippen is
If
not
Michael
an
Jordan didn't
amazing-
exist, Scottie
Yeah.
Pippen would have been MVP.
Except there was a year where then Scottie Pippen should have had the MVP.
Except
Exactly.
there's this guy named Michael Jordan.
Yeah. I'm saying Amen Thompson
All
might
right.
not have a Michael Jordan in front of him.
All right, deal.
Is this
Deal.
hot takes or not?
This is this is good.
That hurt you?
No, I'm processing it.
Is your butt going to hurt later
Yes.
after processing that take?
Yep.
Mine is. I'm going to have an upset tummy. Get the Pepto-Bismol. I got to poop.
Wildberry Tums.
Those are gross.
What?
Just get the regular Tums.
Oh, the Wildberry
Sicko.
ones are so good.
Have you tried the smoothie Tums?
No, are those good?
They're like, yeah, they're not all chalky.
Okay.
I'm a Tums man myself.
I'm gonna have
so,
to check
you
them
know,
out.
You know,
I've only had heartburn once in my life, and I didn't know what it was. But
I had it and then I got an organ removed. Not my heart, folks, just my gallbladder. So
what's your next hot take?
you don't have a hot take?
I do have a hot take. I thought you were going
No,
to go
hit
yours
me.
too.
Come on, hit me. I'm ending with one that's really
My
going to
last
fry
one
your guys'
was like not
buns.
even a hot take.
This is
anymore
hot.
now that we just watched what just happened.
The Boston Celtics, even though it's not even about the Boston Celtics. I love them dearly, and I hope they win the championship, and I hope they go back to back. If they absolutely poop the bed against the other team that I have in the championship, the Clippers, Kawhi, Finals MVP this year. Hot take. He's gonna have the playoff. He's gonna have a playoff run of a playoff run.
I
He's
think
gonna
this
go.
is only a hot take if you remove all those ifs.
Nope.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Yeah. You basically have to say that he's going to be the Finals MVP.
Now, hold on. We turned injuries off for you.
We turned injuries off.
I know, but mine's way more. Like, if the Clippers already made the finals and win it, is basically what your ifs were, wasn't it?
Let's just say this:
So,
Kawhi is
like-
going to have the playoff run of his life, and it's going to set his legacy, and no one's going to
Oh,
worry about
boy.
him not playing a
If
bunch
he
of other
has
games.
the
That's
playoff
hot.
run of his life.
He's going to
Now
have the
that's
playoff run of his
That's
life,
All right.
incredible playoff
Playoff run of his
because
life.
He's already had two of
and
those.
it's going to take those individuals and be like, "Oh, we don't care that Kawhi missed 87,000 games over the last 6 years."
Let me jump on top of that even more.
Go.
Let's make it a little hotter.
Yeah,
Put a little sriracha on top of that. If Kawhi wins a championship with the Clippers, he is a better player than Kevin Durant.
yes.
You could easily convince me that he
100%.
might be one of, like the best player ever if he wins with the
If
Clippers.
he
right
wins
now.
a championship with the
We're
Clippers,
cooking now.
he is a better. He should be ranked higher than.
Throw the
Durant.
chilies in the oil. We're cooking.
Oh yes,
easily higher than Durant.
easily higher.
You got to
than
talk like defensively and offensively combined there. Like he easily could be the greatest player. Like you can be in that conversation.
greatest player
almost.
of his generation
ever.
ever.
Yeah.
What?
Like injury wise, he screws that up.
Okay.
But like
He's rubbing
his
Carolina
times-
Reapers in his eyes at this point.
In his
You're not
times-
seeing straight, buddy.
healthy Kawhi Leonard could be considered one of the best players ever.
That's
This is not your hot take, but you're totally hijacking
I'm
it
jumping right
now.
on. You added whatever
I
you
thought
added.
the Kevin
I'm adding
Durant thing
more.
was just a nice sweetener. You're like, nah, let's set the whole thing on fire.
it's hard to look at Kawhi's career without looking at all those injuries and looking at him not playing basketball.
That's why he's coming back and winning 2 championships. I'm just kidding. I'm not taking it that far.
Hot. But I'm not, Trevor. I'm not really arguing with you. If he stayed healthy and continued to do what he did after he did in San Antonio and Toronto, I would put him up there.
I mean, this is also coming from
Top-
a perspective where
top
I have
5
no
greatest
idea
players?
how no one's considering Jokic to
Top
be one of
5
the
greatest players ever? If he continued to do what he did at the beginning of his career and all the way up to
All right,
Toronto.
All right, this hot take has really spun into something else.
But it kind of
Here.
also depends how you view the greatest players. Like if you view people as like long term, then like nobody can really compare
Let's
to like
say-
LeBron, like longevity. Doing
Not
the
comparing
same thing all the
eras.
time.
Let's compare him to who he's playing with in the NBA right now. He would be considered one of the best, probably number 2, because you really can't argue with LeBron, in my opinion.
because of his. Yeah, that's where I'm saying longevity and everything combined makes a huge deal to a lot of people.
Man,
I'm saying in the years that he was playing, he was like the best player on the court.
he was. Just talking about it frustrates
Wow.
me with like his career. Like, imagine if he kept playing.
Genuinely speechless. You guys are talking about him as being like one of the best players ever. Like, this is wild.
Dude
This is
was
wild.
Did you see him at San Diego State?
Yes.
And then he came in and did the exact same thing, but even better in the NBA.
Guys, I like Kawhi, but to say that he is even in the same tier as LeBron that's crazy to me.
He went from the Spurs to the Raptors and won 2 championships in 2 years.
I understand.
It's
Now,
mind-boggling.
Again, if he wins with the Clippers,
If
it's
he
gonna
wins
be a
with the
legendary
Clippers,
run.
yes.
Okay.
That's my
I'll
hot
give it to
take.
you.
There's my hot take.
There's your hot
Yeah,
take.
He's going to have a legendary
all that
playoff
extra was
run.
banked on that.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to have a legendary playoff run.
We had a bunch of additional sauces that were thrown onto yours.
We threw Carolina Reaper. We
Yeah.
threw peanut oil with extra hot sauce on it. Yeah.
Last dab was dangled
Yes.
by
We
Trevor over
Dipped
there.
in some boiled water.
Yeah.
And somebody crushed a one chip and
Our intestines are fried for the next
it.
at least 3 weeks. That's how hot that was.
can't even sit down anymore.
Nope, your butthole is absolutely scorched.
Fried.
What's your last one?
You got one left, don't you? Or do you want me
but
to?
mine's not really hot anymore. It's kind of more like a medium because, like, we already
Okay.
talked about it. That basically, I was going to go with that. Miami's not sunk by Jimmy Butler leaving, and
Oh,
that,
yeah.
That I mean, after even watching this game, you can see that, like, if they
The-
make some moves, they can bounce back.
I could see that. All right. My last hot take.
How hot?
It's hot.
Okay.
Nikola Jokic should retire at the end
Like
of this year
Nelly
For his
hot in here?
horses only, or
for his horses. Nikola Jokic should retire at the end of this year.
That's hot.
That's a hot take, isn't it?
but what do you mean by should? Why?
Yeah, that's a good question, Trevor.
Because depending on your reason, it might not be that hot.
Here's the thing.
How many championships does he have?
One.
Okay.
He's got 3 MVPs,
3 MVPs, 1 championship.
1 championship.
Does he have the most triple doubles right now, or does Westbrook still have that?
does.
Oh, yeah, Westbrook.
He'll have
Oscar
that for
Robertson's got it. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Those-
Oscar
those
has
two
it.
are,
Yeah,
above him.
Okay.
Do you want to, if you're Nikola Jokic, do you want to keep doing this? Like, what's satisfying for him about the game of basketball,
Nothing.
other than the
He-
financial? end
He
of it?
does it because he's amazing at it.
Your head coach and your GM were just fired
Yep.
before the playoffs started. You're in cap hell with Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., 2 guys that you are really hesitant on
Mm-hmm.
for the future. The Westbrook thing didn't work out. Honestly, all the little guys that they brought in hasn't really worked out. The team will not spend money on the guys that you want, like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Bruce Brown and like those kind of guys.
True.
So you just want to restart all this shit again? Is that really what you want to do? Or do you want to just take off and be known as the greatest Nuggets player of all time? Just take off. Go back. You got your horses. Run for mayor of your town. I guarantee you win in a landslide.
Shoot, he might even win like
You know what I mean?
presidency in that country or whatever, however they run their judicial system over
In
there.
his 10-year career, he's only played less than 70 games one time.
Wow.
His career average is 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. He's got the 3rd most triple-doubles in the
Mhm.
NBA. He has 3 MVPs. He has secured his place as the best center of the 2010s and the 2020s.
Mm-hmm.
Top 50 player all time. Go back to Serbia. Race your horses. I'll be taking a step further. Run for president. You're going to win. You're going to win. Just be a legend. What
Yeah.
do you need this for? You want to restart all this crap again? You want to get? Do you think he's going to be like, I want to get traded? No.
No,
He wants to go home. He can't wait to lose to the Clippers in the first round.
you're right. Kawhi.
So it's just time to retire. Time to hang it up.
That's hot. But I can see him
My
doing
only
it.
issue with it was well, I think I have a very different idea of how greatest players. I think we already had that discussion. But didn't you just say a top 50 center?
Top 50 player all time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not
top 50. Like that's just
He's the best
mean.
center
That's
of
just
he's
rude.
the best center of like our generation.
Yeah.
For multiple decades now.
Yes.
Like unassailable best. But like it's not ever going to be like what it was before.
He's been in the league for how long?
10 years.
10 years, okay.
10 years. What do you want to keep doing this for?
Yeah.
That's all.
And he's made it clear in interviews and stuff that he's just like, all right, whatever. When can I go home?
When
of thing.
he retires, he's never coming back to America.
The NBA is going to try to keep him around. No, he gone.
When he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame,
He might not even come back.
maybe he'll just send his kid or something.
Maybe.
Be like, yeah, go ahead. They got a trophy for me or something. And then come
Yeah,
on
I
back.
can see that.
I'm busy creating foreign policy for Serbia, so I can't really focus on that.
That would not shock me, Matt. I don't. Yeah, that's hot, but that
hot.
wouldn't shock me.
Okay.
I have nothing against it. Like, I'm not. I kind of disagree with the should, but like it wouldn't really shock me.
Okay. Well, that's all I got. That's all the hot takes.
Those are hot.
If people have hot takes, they should let us know.
Yeah, I would love to hear other
Maybe
people's hot
maybe
takes.
we'll debate your hot takes on the show.
Ooh,
How about that?
yeah.
And if you have any Tabasco bottles laying around, bring them over.
Or know anyone who works with Tabasco or Hams or just any other company that wants to throw us stuff and we talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
We'll
Like
talk
we
about
talk
it.
about everything else on here.
Exactly.
Good stuff, fellas. Episode 26 is in the books. NBA playoffs are starting now. Play-in games are just getting over. Dallas is currently losing to Memphis by almost 20. Woo! That is, that's a little wild. Thanks for listening. Tune into all podcast platforms where you can listen to us ramble on about stuff. Let us know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, we will see you on the next one. Peace.